What is up, YouTube? I hope you guys are having a good day. Today I'm going to be chewing some gum and talking about Linda Hazzard, some true crime stuff. Once again, I'm going to be chewing on the handy dandy Hubba Bubba. Let's get into it. Linda Laura Hazzard, nicknamed the Starvation Doctor, as an American Quake, swindler, and convicted serial killer, noted for her promotion of fasting, pummeling, and hours-long enemas as treatments. Hazzard was found guilty of manslaughter in the state of Washington and was sentenced to 2 to 20 years of hard labor for killing at least 15 people for financial gain. At a sanitarium she operated near Seattle in the early 20th century. She was released on parole after only serving 2 years of her sentence, and later, for unknown reasons, received a full pardon from Governor Ernest Lister in 1916. Hazzard would go on to die at 70 after subjecting herself to her same treatment methods. Linda Laura Hazzard was born Linda Laura Burfield in Carver, Minnesota, one of the 8 children of Susan Neal and Montgomery Burfield. Hazzard had no medical degree, but was licensed to practice medicine in the state of Washington through a loophole that grandfathered in some practitioners of alternative medicine without degrees. According to her book, The Science of Fasting, she studied under Edward Hooker Dewey, MD, a well-known proponent of fasting. Hazzard developed a fasting method that she claimed was remedy for all manners of illnesses, ridding the body of toxins that caused imbalances in the body. Over the course of her career, she wrote 3 books about what she claimed to be the science behind fasting and how it could cure diseases. First was Fasting for the Cure of Disease in 1908. She followed that book by The Diet in Disease and Systemic Cleansing in 1917. A 5th revised and amplified edition of Fasting for the Cure of Disease was published in 1927 under the title Scientific Fasting, the Ancient and Modern Key to Health. Hazzard established a sanitarium she called Wilderness Heights, located in Olalla, Washington, where inpatients fasted for days, weeks, or months on a diet consisting of small amounts of tomato, asparagus juice, and occasionally orange juice. While some patients survived, and publicly endorsed Hazzard's methods. Dozens would go on to die under her care. Hazzard claimed that the deceased had succumbed to undisclosed or undiagnosed illnesses such as cancer or cirrhosis of the liver. Her opponents claimed that they all died of starvation. Local residents in Olala referred to the sanitarium as Starvation Heights. In 1912, Hazzard was convicted of manslaughter for the death of Claire Williamson. Claire Williamson was a wealthy British woman who weighed less than 50 pounds at the time of her death. At the trial, it was proven that Hazzard had forged Williamson's will and stolen most of her valuables. Williamson's sister, Dorothy, also took the treatment, and it is alleged only survived because a family member showed up in time to remove her from Wilderness Heights. It is suggested that one of the sisters managed to smuggle a telegram to alert their governess, who lived in Australia. However, by the time of the arrival, Claire had already died. Dorothy was too weak to leave on her own, weighing less than 60 pounds. She later testified against Hazzard at trial. Hazzard was sentenced to 2 to 20 years in prison, which she served in the Washington State Penitentiary in Wallala. She was released on parole on December 26, 1915, after serving 2 years, and the following year, Governor Ernest Lister gave her a full pardon. Hazzard and her husband, Samuel Chrisman Hazzard, moved to New Zealand, where she practiced as a dietitian until 1920. In 1917, a newspaper reported that Hazzard held a practicing certificate from Washington State Medical Board. Because she used the title doctor, she was charged under the Medical Practitioner Act for practicing medicine while not registered to do so. She was found guilty and fined £5 plus approximately £600 plus the cost of US dollars $462.13 plus cost in 2014. 3 years later, she returned to Olala, opened a new sanitarium known publicly as the School of Health, since her medical license had been revoked, and continued to supervise fasting until the sanitarium burned to the ground in 1935. The sanitarium was never rebuilt. Hazzard would go on to die in 1938 while attempting a fasting cure. This is the story of Leonard Hazzard.